FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
And the question had to do with how are you ensuring that there isn't racial profiling going on against particularly Middle Eastern Americans of Middle Eastern descent?
Investigation and profiling are two different things. As anybody who's been through an airport knows recently, we don't profile at airports. In fact, I recall when I was a judge for a time, I had a detail of marshals, and when I traveled, I then traveled commercial, and they carried their weapons on the plane. Of course, they had to have documentation for it, and so they had the documentation, they presented it, and I was with them, and on at least 2 occasions, guess who got pulled out of line for the thorough search? Take your shoes off, do that, and so forth. Yours truly. And the first time, I almost tried to say, "Come on, I'm with those guys," but I realized there was a reason for that, and there was a system for that, and I'll let them do it. But so far as focusing investigations, we investigate where the threat is coming from. The threat is coming from Islamist extremism. It's not coming from Calvinism. And we'd be out of our minds, not to mention the waste of resources, to look every place simply in the name of being correct. We look at the places where we have a clue that there is something. We don't look at Muslims simply because they're Muslims. That doesn't happen. Largely because, do the math. We've got 12,000 FBI agents in the United States. Most of them, I'd venture to say, are involved in things other than terrorism investigations. We do have a couple of thousand other people at various agencies in the United States who do analysis and work of this kind. They get up in the morning and try to look where? They try to look at where the problem is coming from, not at everybody who might be a source of the problem, but at where the problem appears to be. And again, surveillance, electronic surveillance, when it's conducted in the United States, is conducted with the permission of a court, based on a showing to a court, and when it's conducted abroad, shouldn't have to be conducted with the permission of a court. That's the point of the legislation. We shouldn't have to go to court to get a warrant to find out what somebody who picks up a phone in Iraq is talking to with somebody he's calling in Afghanistan. We shouldn't need a warrant for that. And we also shouldn't need a warrant when somebody picks up a phone in Iraq and calls somebody in the United States, because that's the call that we may really want to know about. And before 9/11, that's the call that we didn't know about. We knew that there had been a call from someplace that was known to be a safe house in Afghanistan, and we knew that it came to the United States. We didn't know precisely where it went. We've got 3,000 people who went to work that day and didn't come home to show for that.